Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talking Tao. It's great to have you with us on the Master Tao Centre Sydney Facebook and YouTube channel. Here with Lex always from the Tao Centre in Sydney. And we have a very special guest today. We have Mirva Inkeri with us. And it's a great honour and pleasure of mine personally to be able to invite Mirva, who's been a very powerful my spiritual journey and a great guide and teacher for me. And she's just launched the Tao Wisdom Series, which is an incredibly powerful 10-part online series. And we're going to talk a little bit about Tao Wisdom today. We have a couple of other exciting opportunities coming up over the next month or so, including a powerful Tao Wisdom Masterclass. So everyone is invited to join that. Thank you to everyone who's joining. Say hello to us. It'd be great to know who is with us. So Mirva is a certified master teacher of the Tao Academy, a Tao teacher, and many, many other things. I won't go into all of them right now, but she's also a Tao dance, Tao teacher, Tao dance, Tao song teacher, and much, much more. So great to have you with us, Mirva. We're just going to have a chat today and just hear from you a little bit about your journey and dive a little bit into like a few little insights and wisdom come out along the way. So great to have you with us.
Great. Thank you, Alexander. Thank you, Mirva. I'm very similar to Alexander. Mirva's been a big part of my journey over the last 10 years. So I echo Alexander's words to have Mirva here today. So Mirva, for me, what I've noticed, particularly in the last couple of years, is that the Tao teachings has become really fashionable, if I could use that word, really fashionable. What I've noticed is a lot of people speaking about it, but they're probably just looking at it from a philosophical base. You know, they're connecting to the Yellow Emperor, the Tao Te Ching, reading these beautiful quotes of Tao, but that's kind of as far as it goes, you know, just that connection on that philosophical level. So we know when we're talking about Tao, we're talking about, you know, the source, the creator. We're not talking from a Taoism and from a religious sort of perspective. But for our viewers, could you sort of share a little bit with us in terms of how, you know, how do we progress from this philosophical place and, you know, sort of just give us that bigger sort of overview of the picture of how these Tao teachings can serve us?
Great question. Thank you so much thank you for your love, both Lex and Alexander, first of all, and thank you for your hearts. I could feel my heart opening as you were sharing from your hearts, which is actually one of the key aspects. It's all about the heart. It's not a mind journey. Even when we think it's the mind that's seeking for the wisdom, for the philosophy, for the meaning, for the purpose, for the understanding, for the wisdom. And of course it is, but to a part only. And I understand this deeply because I was a wisdom seeker just about my entire life. So I understand this drive, this yearning for the wisdom. Especially the more our world is going through these situations, circumstances that are external, but they're so in our face because they're global and it seemingly run our lives. It's no wonder that we are more and more, we're seeking for wisdom. Because wisdom is forever. Knowledge ages. Knowledge becomes out of date. Just if you think of, you know, mobile phones, you know, or computers, you know, the wisdom, the generations change and it becomes out of date. But true wisdom, we still today, how many years later, we quote Lao Tzu from Tao Te Ching. how to go further is we need a teacher. We need an interpreter of the wisdom. It's not like it's a must or a mandate, but it makes a huge difference. Because just taking Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, it varies greatly based on the translator. And not just the physical translation abilities, but their heart. Where is their heart understanding of the Tao wisdom? It's like a filter, like a screen. What is the message they're able to convey of the wisdom? What I have learned in the 13 years, I think it is now, from 2008, that I have been studying the Tao is because the Tao is infinite. The Tao is the ultimate creator. What does that mean? The Tao created not only you and me, not only the trees, the animals. The Tao created all universes, stars, moons, planets, galaxies. The Tao source being the source of all life. Source of all life. That's what an ultimate creator is, including heaven and Mother Earth. Most people don't get this. They think heaven is this ethereal concept and has existed forever. But the Tao wisdom teaches us differently. Heaven and Mother Earth are not permanent. So in the 13 years that, which is a tiny amount of time that I have studied, compared to some people devote their whole life understanding the Tao. A key element is how do we approach it? How open is our heart to learn more of the unending wisdom? What does it mean, unending wisdom? It means that I can read the same paragraph, the same text today, tomorrow, the day after, yesterday, the week before, but I can have different realizations of it. Because my heart, my mind, my body, my energy is in a different place, number one. Number two, am I open to learning more? Or am I thinking, I've read this before, I know this stuff. Yeah, it was wonderful, but Or it was so amazing, I had this realization and this is what it means. And unconsciously, I'm hanging on to that one realization. So how can I go deeper? Is that I remain open. What can I realize today? What can I receive today that takes me further? To be more and more aligned, to be more connected to others, to other aspects of life, to other forms of life. That's one way you can go deeper.
Okay. Well, Mirva, you've blown my mind. We need another 3 hours just to touch on a few of the things you've shared there, because I'm just hearing you share and I'm going, oh, I want to go into a little bit of that. I'd like to go into a little bit of that. And I'd like to go, and we can't because we've only got a short period of time. And I knew my question was just where it could take us. One thing, this heart business that you're talking about, that's what I find very, very interesting. It's what we mean by that. And I know that's just again, woof, with all of that. So I mean, it's quite an incredible start. Your sharing is already so huge. But I'd like to move on to my next question. which is a bit more of a personal question to you, is,
Mm.
you know, I know you had quite an incredible corporate background, a high flyer, if I could use such a word, in terms of working with American Express. So you were very successful in your career. I've got two parts to my question in sharing this. My first part is, what was the drive behind Mirva? What was your drive that got you into that place in a corporate level? Like, what were you about? Why did you do that, for example? And then I'd like to then compare that to who is then the Mirva now as a result of your Tao journey. Thank you.
Right. Action and drive. I guess I wanted to, in that time, I wanted to accomplish things. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to make an impact, because I was always searching for purpose of life. What is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of my life? What am I here to do? I always had these questions, and I didn't know where to go and look for these answers. So I looked everywhere. So I had a lot of personal drive, which relates to a particular, all of us have strengths, if you like. All of us have traits that are more dominant than others, until we sort of start to balance those out and understand what's called the 5-element universal law and principle. So the principle, or the law that was, or the aspect of the 5-element law that was very much driving me, was this force that is, in corporate language, a high achiever, accomplishing things. But while I was doing all of that, I did a lot of leadership training, a lot of personal development, this and this and that. And remember, I was about accomplishing, achieving things. So I did a lot of things, and many of them at the same time. At the same time, all of this, there was these value-based questions that would come up in traditional leadership training. So spirituality, community, connectedness, etc., always, without a doubt, in a split second, I would fill out those surveys. They were at the top of the ranks for me, because I just inherently knew that part of my existence that wasn't just this alone bubble. I didn't know what it meant. And there's, nowadays, especially, people talk about oneness, left, right, and center, and they mean all kinds of things with it. But the Tao wisdom really shows us that the mere fact that we came from the same source, there's one creator of all life. That's what it means we're connected. There's more to it. Quantum physics and Tao science especially explains that. And we can talk about more of that on Friday night or at the weekend workshop. But it's way more tangible, this concept of oneness and that we're connected. But it was that connection that drove me to seek for answers. And now it's driving me to share more with people.
That's beautiful, Mirva. It is amazing having a conversation like this when, having been exposed to some of the Tao teachings, and you're just kind of picking little things from the wisdom, and each of those is almost a door to discover so much more. So we will share with everybody the opportunity that you have to be with Mirva, which is tomorrow night, and also in the Tao Wisdom Series. But just for our Mirva, I feel to go. So you touched on the universal law of the 5 elements. I'd love if you could share a universal law with us just quickly. Obviously, we can't do the full teaching, but just share a universal law and maybe that you've applied to your life and had success with. You know, you've shared your high achiever. It'd be awesome to hear an example of that.
I'd be so happy to. It's funny because this has been very topical for whatever reason this week. We as humanity, and I'm going to make a broad statement here, meaning no offense, meaning only to awaken us to this reality. How dependent we are, and almost, this is going to be a strong word, almost addicted to success, good outcomes, things going what we perceive well. And as soon as something happens that is not so good as we label it, perceive it, receive it, judge it, we get upset. When the universal law of yin and yang, you could say positive, negative, masculine, feminine, it's the two opposing forces. They coexist everywhere. Heaven and earth are an example of this universal law of the duality. It's the world of duality. We live, human beings live in the world of duality. But somehow we predominantly have this collective and individual perception that we only want one and not the other. Because this one we say is good and this one we say is bad. But the journey really for us, I know there are many teachers who teach this already. But humanity overall, we have a great opportunity to let go of the judgments, to perceive what is good, what is bad, and be just more accepting that what if just is. Why do we say sunshine is good, rain is bad, when we know it's completely situational? If you've had decades of drought, you so badly want rain. But we have all kinds of perceptions and judgments. And this is a universal law, which means it's the truth and applies to every aspect of life, that both exist all of the time together. They're codependent, interdependent. One is maybe just more accelerated or emphasized at any given time. I could be feeling angry, happy, sad, bad, whatever. And I'm thinking, this is terrible. My day is terrible. I'm a horrible person. Why can't I blah, 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 blah. Let's say I'm negative about myself. But there is continuously, simultaneously, a part of me that is completely pure, true, and eternal. But in that moment, am I aware of that? What am I connecting to and connecting with? What is in my awareness in that moment? That's about the universal law of yin and yang.
Mirva, can I ask what was it when you discovered this, and what impact did that have for you personally, coming from from your background? Was it Master Shah that you first, or you started to understand this a little bit deeper, or?
No, I actually started to understand this way before I came across Master Shah's teaching. I actually came across this through Buddhist wisdom. Because wisdom is not based on a tradition or religion. actually all religions, all traditions carry the truth in their own way. It may just sound something a little bit different or look a little bit different, but what is true across everything. The truth unites us. So if I remember from correctly, I came across this through some Buddhist books and teachings that I read, and it was beyond liberating for me. I couldn't believe how limited my view of the world and existence was. And I was in the corporate world when I started to study and understand these concepts. And I used to work near Hyde Park in Sydney, and I during lunch break, I would walk Hyde Park, and I would be in a totally different reality, because that's where I would contemplate these truths of life, going, my God, how entrapping this is. I just felt completely trapped by some of these perceived realities or filters, if you like, because it doesn't matter whether it's a family system, whether it's a corporation, whether it's a school system. There's a lot of rules or agreements, so to say. This is how it is. This is how life works here. And I was always a good citizen, so I would respect those rules. But at the same time, I realized that, oh my God, there's so much more to life than this. So the impact was beyond deeply freeing, liberating. And I'm grateful you asked this, because so many people look for freedom, but they look for it in the ways that's never going to fulfill them. They look for it through rebellion. But actually, it's as they say, the truth will set you free. But it's not the truth about others or life out there. It's how you apply the truth within you and realize that. And it starts with you. In my case, me, I started to look at myself. And the more I started to apply what I learned, the less I judged others. Easier everything became. My interaction with others, I could hear them differently. I would see them differently. I'd go, I understand you better and more. So this expanded way of interacting, relating, connecting, all of a sudden was available to me.
Yeah, that's really very beautiful, Mirva. I can relate with that a lot myself as well, from what I've got out of the Tao teachings. When I had the pleasure of sitting through the Tao Wisdom filming sessions that we did together, and one of the big things I got out of that was this movement away from ordinary human thinking. And you've sort of already touched on a few aspects of that with, judgment or the rules that maybe exist in the corporate world or in the normal human thinking. But what does that mean on a deeper level, to move away from ordinary human thinking to an extraordinary way of being, let's say?
That I give up on focusing on me, myself, and I, in summary. That's what it means. It's to give up selfishness, self-centeredness, self-orientation, if you like. I know that this could be even offensive for some people, but it is what drives us so often. And this word, the reason why I speak it so blatantly is because this is how I was programmed as well. This is what I learned growing up, you know, from the school system, the family system, everywhere. There's so much competition, and competition is encouraged. But that competition is often, not always, but often infiltrated with this, that this person is successful, or this kind of behavior is good behavior, and this just isn't quite good enough. So we need to give up the duality in the thinking. We need to let go of that I need to look after myself, because if I don't, there's no one else. And we can talk about just this until the cows come home. This is such a massive topic. But it's ultimately, like Master Sha puts it, the purpose of life is to serve others. To serve others is to make them happier and healthier. It's not about looking after my happiness. When I put your happiness above mine, I am aligning myself with the universal laws and principles.
Well, I need to take a really big breath. Whilst my body language doesn't show it, my chin's on the floor, because there's so much here. And as Mirva shared at the beginning, the Tao is infinite. So it just gives you a bit of a picture. The Tao is a journey, and we're very, very blessed in Australia and with the Sydney Centre to have Mirva, who is a Tao teacher of the Tao Academy, because this is life. And it's this aspect of it's a journey, and we're very fortunate that we can go on this journey with Mirva, because this will be an ongoing journey with Mirva, and it's very exciting. You can just see there's just so many things Mirva shared today. It's like, well, where do you go? It's like, well, you just take one step at a time. You know, for me, for everyone watching, anyone who there's I'm sure everyone's just gone, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But it's, you know, if you have that little bit of hunger in you, that little bit, if you've asked that question, why am I here? What is this about? You know, if you're not in that total world of distraction, which we can be, this is absolutely the journey for you. And the rewards from this journey, it's just life becomes very different. And I know I speak on behalf of Alexander and myself that our lives have become very, very, very different. Mirva, with the remaining time that we have, is there anything you could do for us in an experiential, you know, is there something you can, some little practice or something that we can experience Tao? Yeah, you could share with us. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Let us connect with the universal heart. How about that idea? Let us connect our hearts with the universal heart that is ultimately bigger, ultimately contains more love than our individual heart. So please, if you're comfortable, close your eyes and place your left hand on your heart, or your right hand, whichever is more comfortable. And place the other hand on your navel and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And just wiggle your hips a little bit, or your toes. Feel your connection to your ground, to Mother Earth. Because we are not separate. We are not separate entities existing here on the planet. We are connected to and with Mother Earth. So become aware of that, whatever that means for you. And relax your heart. Bring your awareness to your heart and just check in. How is your heart in this moment? How are you feeling? Is your heart peaceful? Is your heart possibly agitated? And just observe without giving it a label, whether it's good or bad, right or wrong. Just observe, how is your heart in this moment? And inhale. And give yourself the message to connect more fully with your own heart in this moment. And give yourself the message to let go of anything that does not serve you anymore. You don't need to know or list a whole bunch of things. You just need to give yourself that message, if you're willing, to just let go what no longer serves you. Inhale and give yourself the message to open your heart. More fully, to connect with life, to connect with all of life. That means with other human beings, with all other aspects of life, with nature, with animals, with all forces that run life, that form life. Breathe into your heart again. And I would like to offer a Tao blessing, to sing a Tao mantra. Master Sha named this as a Tao mantra in 2013. Open your heart to receive. I love you. 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 Inhale. Exhale. Relax your hands. Move your shoulders a bit. And And open your eyes when you're ready. That's a Tao mantra. You can sing to yourself when you don't feel like you're really loving yourself. Try really sincerely. Even if you don't sing it like I did, you can just repeat it. Just give it a shot with all of your sincerity and see if anything shifts. I hope that serves you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Mirva.
Thank you.
We spent the first 25 minutes of the session, just touching on so many incredible things. And I could just see myself just on an intellectual capacity, sort of understanding it and the excitement and the wisdom and all that excitement. And when we went into the practice, which was very expansive, and I found this place of stillness, and I can still feel it now. There's like a density in my chest area, or warmth. But the message that sort of came through for me, it's just all I've been searching for is connection. It's like my whole life. And I had a really fortunate upbringing. I had wonderful parents, sisters, friends, very blessed in my relationships. You could define that as, a very blessed life in that respect. But there's something was still missing, and it's a connection. And independent of all the wisdom and everything, for me, it just still comes back to, I just want that connection. What is that connection with? You talked about Mother Earth and all of this, and I'm still exploring that and trying to understand what that is. But it was I guess that's the practice, isn't it? That's that part. So it was a very unique experience to go through the wisdom, but then just in that 5 minutes have that blessing and that sharing, and I'm in a very different place. So very, very, very beautiful experience, and very grateful for the insights that I've received. So thank you, Mirva.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so delighted to have this opportunity to share, and I am so happy and delighted to be part of the Master Sha Tao Center Sydney, and to share the wisdom through the series and this Friday's class and the workshops to come. So I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mirva. Thanks, Lex. Thanks for your beautiful sharing too. Yeah, it was a very nourishing little practice and blessing there for me too. My heart is beating much calmer, and I did feel that deep connection as well. So I hope everyone's enjoyed the session today. There's been some great comments in the chat box, so thank you for everybody who's joined and who's started to absorb some of this wisdom. And it really has been a snippet of the wisdom, because it goes so deep, and it's really a journey that you embody. And it's a journey that we really want to open to everybody who is seeking to really go deeper in their connection. Lex was talking about really that wisdom that is so simple and so profound, but bring it into their life to have positive change and impact in a time where, looking around, there's a lot of disorder, there's a lot of stuff happening right now, but the wisdom is here, and the
You're back, Alexander.
He connected with the Tao emptiness.
Yes, Alexander is in the country at the moment. That's not a fake background. That is the real deal. So I don't know whether Alexander's going to be coming back or not. Sadly, I can't close the session either. But we are dependent on Alexander. Don't know where he's gone, but yeah, for everyone, we hope you've really enjoyed this session. Just want to give everyone the opportunity to leave if they wish, but just to sort of formally close yeah, it's an incredible opportunity. You know, if you're already on the journey, this is the opportunity to take everything to the next level. Even if you're not, let's just say, you know, you're on that start of that journey. You know, maybe you're just doing a little bit of practice. Maybe you're asking those questions, particularly in this current world with a lot of people experiencing lockdown and not working. It's been an incredible opportunity for people to go deeper and maybe not be in that state of distraction where we're always working and busy in our day-to-day lives. But, you know, very much of these last couple of years, many people have shared, it's been an opportunity to think about things, you know, thinking about their work, their family, and you know, great opportunities. So I'd like to, you know, thank Mirva for your time. We will connect with Mirva again. We have a workshop which is on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th at the end of this month. And tomorrow night, Alexander's been sharing then the little pop-up menu, and it's also been there in the chat, the registration link for tomorrow night's class, a class that is between 7 and 9 p.m. Sydney time. I know we've gone into daylight saving, so we're a little bit out of sync with the other states at the moment. So you can join that. And that's just an introductory session, a bit of practice, going into the wisdom a little bit more. So you're all welcome to join that, whether you perceive yourself as a beginner or advanced, wherever you perceive yourself. All you need is just that interest, that desire or wish to just go a little bit deeper, and Mirva will take us absolutely there. And I'm sure you've all had that experience today as well, where Mirva has taken us. So we're very, very grateful. So thank you to everyone who's joined us, and thank you to Mirva, to Alexander. I think his internet's gone. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for being with us. And yeah, we will close. Thank you, Mirva.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you, everyone.